Here's some actual proof that when we get together with group intention and we get into a group meditation, that it can powerfully change the frequency on the planet. And not only that, it also tends to have a very powerful effect on the people that are actually meditating. Now, this right here was the frequency back in 2020 when 1 million people on the planet were getting together with unified group mind-heart coherence to send peace and love into the world. Now, this is called the Schumann resonance. This is the frequency of the planet. And you'll notice those bright lights, that bright fluctuation you see, that is a lot of light and energy coming in onto the planet. Now, let's also say this. When there are certain dramatic events that happen on the planet, it also fluctuates that of the Schumann resonance. Now, with all the chaotic energy going on in the world, just recently, I decided to do a guided meditation on my YouTube channel, and we had 3,000 people showing up live. Also another 900 people in Japan, which I thought was really cool. There was someone in Japan that was transcribing the YouTube video into that of Japanese so that people in Japan could also tune in live for the meditation as well. They were listening with like one headphone in one ear and then the Japanese in the other ear. I thought that was really cool. But we had 4,000 people technically total doing this meditation, and it was extraordinarily powerful with the group. Not because of me and my voice or anything. It's literally the energy of all of us coming together with the unified intention of connecting into our heart and then sending that love into the planet and feeling the gratitude for a reality that we prefer to live in. Feeling the gratitude as if it exists now. That's what we did. And then I got messages the next day on Instagram that this was the Schumann resonance from the day we did it. Now, is it for sure from the meditation? There's no way to really know. However, from the Schumann resonance, as you can see from before, with that huge fluctuation, who is to say that if we were to get more and more people to meditate, to bring this energy into their bodies, that it can't have a very powerful effect on the collective consciousness? Now, when it comes to this, I believe personally, this is going to sound a little esoteric, but I believe there are people on the planet that understand that the collective consciousness, that the cumulative energy of all the people on the planet has a very powerful effect on the reality we live in. It seems like there is a constant chaotic energy that's coming through on the media, that's coming through in different sources, and of course the media is owned by just a few organizations. There may be some form of intention to keep people in fear and anger and lower vibrational emotion, because when that's the case, they're much easier to control. I believe that one of the ways we can mediate this energy or mitigate it is we come together in this group energy. We come together with this group intention. Recently, I've been reading books on this because I find it very fascinating. And there's books that talk about what is called the meditation effect or the Maharishi effect. The Maharishi effect is when 5,000 people got together and they were transcendental meditators. So it's a very specific meditation technique. And they would meditate on peace and love. When they would do this, the day they would do it and for days afterward, there'd be a dramatic decrease in violent crimes on the planet. And what I find interesting about that is that we have the ability with online to do it and get way more than 5,000 people. When I did it back in 2020, I had 12,000 people live on my YouTube channel doing it, and there were hundreds of thousands of other people doing it. And that was the result of the Schumann resonance that you saw. And I believe that when we come together like that, we have a very powerful effect on reality and also on ourselves. It's interesting to me, if you were to read the comments from those videos of when we went live just like last week, I'll link it after this video too if you want to check it out. The comments were people felt more peace in their life. They're coming here to send peace to the Middle East, but yet they feel more peace. There are people that have very profound mystical experiences doing meditations like this. You know, there's something that is called the meditation effect that I just talked about a second ago. But what I meant to say was the mastermind principle. The mastermind principle is that from a book called Think and Grow Rich. And it is about this idea that when we focus on one outcome and we have an intention for it ourselves, it has a certain level of power. And it's powerful to envision what we want to create in our life. However, the mastermind principle is when you get one other person to share that vision with you and you both set that intention, it has even more of a compound effect of it happening in reality. And imagine this, you get 100 people, 1,000 people, 3,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people to concurrently meditate on a certain outcome. Think about the effect that that can have on reality and on those people's lives. Now, when it comes to this as well, one thing I want to share about it is one of the things that makes it very powerful is that people get into a mind and heart coherence in group energy with connecting to each other. And here's the cool thing, it doesn't have to be all in the same room. It can be very powerful in the same room. I've done it at live events in the same room. There is a magic to it. Doing it live on Zoom, you still feel the energy. When I was getting ready to go live last Sunday, this was a couple days ago that I'm recording this video, I could feel for an hour, I had to go outside and literally ground myself in grass because I could feel the energy starting to build. There's an energy that comes with this. And what happens is people on the live feel the energy. It's almost like people, it brings up things for people. It allows people to clear. It allows people to feel higher vibrational states and also have mystical experiences. So this book that I'm reading, it's called The Power of 8. And it's about how basically there's this number of when you get 8 people together and 8 people are focused on, in a way, like helping each other create certain things in their life. So for example, if we were friends and chilling and I was like, you're like, I want to create this in my life, and I was like, I want to create this in my life, we could literally envision that for each other as if it already has happened and hold that image for each other, even in the background for weeks moving ahead. Kind of like hold that vision, and it kind of allows that person to shift into that version of themselves. Have you ever had it where you try to make a change in your life and you're like, you have this certain pattern that you have, and then maybe what happens is you decide you're going to change the pattern, you become aware of it, and then what you do is you go out and you start being in this new version of yourself, and then other people are like, what the hell's going on with you? Why are you acting this way? That's not the way you're supposed to be. And then it's kind of like they're holding the old vision of you, and it's like almost harder for you to step into that new version of yourself because someone else is holding the old vision of you. Or what if you had people that were holding a new vision for you, and it was easier for you to shift into a new aspect of yourself? Well, that's the power of these group meditations, because one thing we do in them is we visualize the best version of ourselves, we activate that, and then we send energy and intention for everybody else doing the meditation to also shift into that version of themselves. And it has a certain level of power, a certain level of energy that comes with it. So this is something also that I believe with time going on, I believe more and more people, like more and more studies will come out that show the effects of group meditation, of group energy. And right now, the only experience I have of it is the experience of leading live meditations on YouTube, but also live meditations in person. And there's something magical that happens in the space when you get a lot of people together getting in mind and heart coherence. These stories I have heard of people that have had these mystical experiences, that they've had these very divine occurrences, they've seen very incredible things, is just so many, and it's because people are in the group energy of each other. Part of it might also be because there's a certain level of safety that people feel in the space. But regardless, there's like an opening that happens. There's like a heart opening, and the walls come down. And one of the goals that I have is, what if we got 100,000 people to concurrently meditate in one of these group meditations on activating their highest timeline, on embodying their highest vibrational self, on bringing high vibrational energy into their body to then put it out into the collective consciousness. Now, if we want to take this a step further, it's going to get a little esoteric. I know it's going to get a little weird. If you talk about the Dolores Cannon material, Dolores Cannon, QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, she was known for founding a specific hypnosis technique that gets people into a deep level of hypnosis. And when people are in this deep level of hypnosis, there's very profound information that comes through. They're kind of like in a subconscious mind state. And what'll happen is the person leading the hypnosis will ask them questions, and this information will come through them in their voice, and it's all tape recorded. And thousands of people from all over the world have been through this process, and there's very consistent themes that happen wherein people are in this subconscious mind state. One common thing people said was, we came here to be a part of the shift. We came here to be a part of the new earth. We came here to be a part of this new level of consciousness that's emerging on the planet. And even beyond that, what they said is, we came here to participate in it. Because one of the things that's said in those books is that when we come here, we forget who we are and then go through a process of remembering who we are. And one of the other things this correlates to is that there's a certain level of control that's been on our planet. The Dolores Cannon material, that's going to sound even more esoteric, but it said that there was a call that was put out back in the early 1900s when we were, as a society, experimenting with nuclear bombs. And what happened is these bombs went off, these test bombs went off, and as that happened, it rippled out into the universe, the energy from those atomic bombs. And what is said that happened is there is free will that is here on the planet. Planet Earth is a place of free will. You come here and you can have your experience, and us as a society get to choose the experience we have. However, there's a rule. You have free will as long as it affects you, but not if it affects other reality systems. And when thousands of people from all over the world have been through this QHHT hypnosis technique, they said, many people, I heard the call. My soul heard the call, so I came back to Earth. And what is said that happened is that Earth put out a call that said, I need help. We are going to destroy ourselves. This is not allowed to be affecting other reality systems. And souls that were hearing the call knew it was going to be hard, knew that they were going to have to forget who they were to remember who they are in this life. And that was going to be part of the pain. However, the rule with this reality is that we must affect it and play according to the rules to affect it. For example, it's not like everyone wants just ETs to land or aliens to land to give us free technology to clean up the oceans and to put all the bad guys in their place and to redistribute, some Nasara money funds or something. Guess what? It doesn't work like that. We must be empowered. We must play according to the rules. We forgot who we are to remember who we are. And part of that, though, is because of this control faction on society and people keep being kept in fear and anger, we have the ability to do the opposite of that. We have the ability to come together. And there is more. What it is said in the book Power vs. Force is when you get people in mind and heart coherence, basically what it says is people that are embodying a higher level of consciousness influence the planet thousands and thousands of times more than the people that are at the lower levels that are in fear, anger, control, narcissism, all of those energies. It's like the higher your frequency, the more impact on reality it has. So even though there may be only 3,000 of us doing this meditation, it can powerfully affect the planet because the energy of that level of consciousness has more of a positive effect than millions of people at the lower level. So the power in this is in us choosing to come together. Back in 2012 when I learned all about this, I remember I learned about the control faction. It's a little more conspiracy theory stuff, honestly, some of it. But I got angry that the way that I learned about meditation was I literally had to research it to find out about it. I'm like, why wasn't I taught this in school? And then I had someone in my life that was able to explain to me some of the things that are happening behind the scenes of certain organizations and certain things, and it kind of opened my mind up. And I realized that there was this control faction. And I realized that the media is owned by a few organizations. And that 99.9% of everything you've ever seen on the media is negative, and that's for a reason. Because when people are in fear and anger, they're much easier to control. But what if we decided to come together? What if we decided to meditate together? to set the intention together, to feel gratitude for reality before it exists, for us to embody it now? What if that was part of our mission? What if that was a way we could feel that fulfillment within ourselves? Because here's the incredible thing too, it's not just something that changes the collective consciousness, it also changes ourselves. More people have healing, and it's surprising because it's like, I just wanted to send love. Well, guess what? As that energy flows through you, it in a way elevates your frequency, elevates your level of consciousness. The more at service you are to the collective, the more ideas and the more opportunities come to you. That's the power we all have in coming together. So one thing I want to encourage you to do is, are you on this journey with me? Do you want to do that as well? We come together. I'm thinking we come together on this YouTube channel a couple times a month. Maybe 2 Sundays a month, we do these live meditations, and you share it, and you get as many people as you want to do it. And if you want to see what this meditation is about, by the way, go listen. Even after it's been live, it still has power. It still, in a way, has this energetic component to it that you get to pick up on. Go do this meditation. I'm going to go ahead and link it right here, the Send Love, Feel Love and Peace to the Middle East. Watch and do that meditation and comment your experience below, and that will add to the energy even though it's already happened live. And then let me know if you're committed to the meditations in the future as well by liking this video or commenting below. So with that being said, here's that video right here.